Wherever you are, there's probably weapons of mass destruction near you. With over 10,000 in the world, they are kept in some shocking places. In this video, we are investigating the problem and exposing the ones in your area.
Okay, let's start with a little simulation.
Okay.
Right now, we are in the dead center of the Netherlands.
Exactly.
But what if we were in the dead center?
Oh, I was gonna make that joke, okay.
If a nuclear bomb exploded in Utrecht right now, the fireball would essentially wipe out the entire inner city.
That's not great.
These are rough estimates, by the way. However, everything within a 5-kilometer radius would also be completely destroyed. And then on top of that, everything within a 20-kilometer radius would be set on fire and people would experience severe burns or just combust.
Okay.
But what could the total fallout radius be?
I'm gonna guess it's like half the country, no? Oh, it's the Netherlands and Belgium and Luxembourg and a part of France and a huge chunk of Germany.
This is ignoring like wind and stuff. It could even fly a lot further and it's a rough estimate, but yeah, this is, you know. The only countries within this radius that have their own nuclear weapons are England and France.
Yeah.
So I'm now going to ask you, how many nuclear bombs do you think are within this radius?
Within this radius?
Yeah, within this radius.
7.
It's 50.
Oh.
So there's a base storing nuclear weapons in Germany, right there. Then there's one in Belgium, just over the border, and one in the Netherlands, right there.
Oh.
And the bases in Belgium and the Netherlands are storing US nuclear bombs.
So we're just holding on to them.
Yeah, just in case you need them, Mr. Trump. And for the longest time, these bombs being stored in the Netherlands were kind of just a rumor.
Right.
But then in 2013, this happened.
Some 22 US nuclear weapons are stored on Dutch territory, says former Dutch Prime Minister Ruud Lubbers. Mr. Lubbers, a center-right prime minister from 1982 to 94, said they were stored underground in strong rooms at the Volkel Air Base in Brabant. He made the revelation in a documentary for National Geographic, saying, "I would have never thought those silly things would still be there in 2013. Those silly weapons of mass destruction. This is
cray. Oops.
one of them.
So to me, this is kind of crazy. Also that I didn't really know about this before. But to better understand nuclear weapons and the problem around them, I called Florian Eblekamp, who is the advocacy director of
the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons. We're an NGO coordinating efforts to abolish nuclear weapons through a legally binding treaty.
Then I will ask you a very sort of stupid question, perhaps. Can you explain to me why nuclear weapons are a problem?
Yeah, so nuclear weapons are unlike other weapons. They are weapons of mass destruction. And that is defined by the inability of these weapons to distinguish between civilians and combatants. So soldiers who fight wars with weapons are in some way a legitimate target of opponents' weapons. But with nuclear weapons, you cannot make that distinction anymore. We see, for example, that when nuclear weapons were used in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, first of all, a lot of people die in the moment of the detonation. But then even weeks and months and years later, still people die from the radiation consequences. So they have cancers, they have births of children without bones, they have genetic defects, they have all sorts of diseases, disabilities.
That is very well put.
Yeah, indeed. And another thing he stressed was that one thing that gets forgotten a lot when talking about nuclear weapons is the environmental impact they have.
I mean, yeah, that must be atrocious.
Yeah, you have the fallout radius, but then also that radius should kind of be the entire world because ultimately it affects everyone. Since
water, air, and everything that is biomass gets basically tarnished by it.
And to me, the most striking thing he said was that we should consider people before policy. And that's a thing that kind of doesn't happen a lot.
No, but it's right, because the policy should be there to help people, right?
Often nuclear weapons are presented as a fact of life, but the truth is that they are a political choice.
This is a direct quote, right? Having a nuclear weapon allows you to do nothing but destroy the world again after your opponent has destroyed the world.
He's very well spoken.
Oh, it went hard, yeah.
That's such a good quote.
Anyway, there are two things I keep thinking about.
Right.
Do the people who actually live in the town where these bombs are stored know about this? And how do they feel about this?
Yeah, when it's right next to your house.
But then, secondly, also, what does it look like? Like, physically, what is going on
Is it just
there?
a big, like, shipping container? Is it some sort of...
Is it just a little safe and it just says 20 nuclear bombs on it?
I think we should just get the car and drive to these places. All right, behind me, just right there, are 20 nuclear bombs stored, which is an insanely weird feeling.
It's crazy to stand here and know that, yeah, there are many things right there, a couple hundred meters away from us, that if the President of the United States, who's a very stable and normal man, decided he wanted to use and just detonate, I guess he could. You know, I know it's more complex than that, and it's more guardrails, but essentially...
Yeah, they're not even ours.
No.
They're just kind of here.
Yeah, and our old Prime Minister was like, aha, dang, those silly things. Like, gosh darn it.
But do the people who live or work here even know about this?
Yeah, the weird part is, right there, we have a garden center. When you get home to your nuclear family, you can bring them some flowers. Yeah,
You can build a garden, that's truly the bomb.
Anyway, yeah, let's go ask some questions and be like, are you aware of this and how do you feel about it? Because I wouldn't feel great working right next to 20 nukes, personally.
Strange.
Yeah,
Weird.
I know.
I mean,
yeah.
we're doing that right now.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Hi, sorry, do you speak English?
Yes.
Cool. That was perfect. We're journalists and we're in this area filming about that their base.
Okay.
Do people know that there's like 20 nuclear bombs stored there?
Well, it's a story that goes around here for years and years and years, so we're a little bit used to that story. But if it's really, really true, that's always a discussion. There are rumors for years and years, so I suppose it's true. But what's really there, nobody knows.
I wish I was this calm about things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, an old Prime Minister of the Netherlands in 2013 confirmed that there are actual bombs there. And
Pieces of bombs.
yeah, like nuclear bombs that are owned by the United States.
It's an American base. Yeah,
The whole base is American.
I believe it is. As long as it's there and it stays there. Yeah. With things happening in the world right now, you're gonna think about it. You know.
Yes.
What will I do if something is circling here? But I think
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna get my car and
Smart. Are there shelters here?
to
Like in case of emergencies? Like I feel like if you store them, you should have at least shelters for civilians,
we
right?
see the planes daily.
Oh really?
Yeah, I haven't seen them yet.
No, we just got
This
here.
morning there was one making a lot of noise.
Really?
When people are here in the store
Yeah.
who doesn't live here and there's one leaving,
And they just kind of go like,
they're always like, oh my god, what's happening? And we're like, yeah.
wow.
Normal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess if you're born and
It's
raised
annoying,
in...
but it's normal, yeah. And sometimes when you think about it, really, you think it's not good. But yeah, what can I do?
Well, thank you so much for this insight. We were very curious about
Well,
that.
for you see a plane. That's
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
That'd be interesting for
We
sure.
could-
Yeah.
So we're journalists and we're here in this area. We just talked to your coworker as well because of the army base that's here. And apparently there's 20 nuclear bombs that are stored here. We were just curious whether or not people who work and live here knew about that.
Everywhere are working American soldiers.
Yeah.
They live in houses also, and they work there, and they are for the nuclear bombs. Yes. Because when you see the shelters there, that's where the nukes are living.
Stored.
Stored.
Yeah.
They are restored, new.
Oh, they replace them.
Yes.
Oh, well that is, oh wow, those are fighter jets.
And that's why.
Wow.
That's why this plane can drop the bombs. Almost born, I live here 46 years here. I really don't have a problem. The only thing is the noise, but that's not a problem.
Huh?
It's like not worth worrying about, I reckon. Right, yeah.
The man in America, so, and that's the problem.
Yeah, that plane was loud though, just now.
Oh, there's nothing. There's nothing. When they are starting here, we have cars on the parking area. They're going
What, did the alarm start going off?
Oh gosh.
105, 110 decibel.
Oh.
I mean, that's very short.
Yeah.
And when you work somewhere, then 85 dB is the max.
It's like nice, yeah. No,
Right.
It's 110, 112, yes.
But I mean, if you hear that like a couple times a week, how?
Yeah, well, I have to go to
the hearing doctor, yeah.
Wait, it actually caused hearing loss.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
From that, but
It's not
I'm,
unlikely.
59, and my ear
Right.
not good anymore.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Maybe from that, I don't know.
First off, their mindset, I am jealous of. I wish I was this chill about things.
Well, I think ultimately what I'm gathering is they're very chill about it because people know that they can't do anything.
Yeah.
Like this man said right here, and there goes a helicopter. Like the man said, like it's we as regular people can't do anything, so it's not worth worrying about. It's the people in power that are everything up. And once something goes wrong, it doesn't matter if you are next to the army base or far removed from it, because if one nuclear bomb goes off, another
Everything
world power
does.
sets off another one and another one and another one, and then
This man just said basically like, I mean, if we're going, I'd rather be the first to go, I guess. I
Yeah.
guess that also makes sense. Have you ever promoted your own clothing line in a garden center right next to bombs? Because coldapparel.com, it's very nice. Oh, 9 dinosaurs.
And we don't support nukes.
I mean, I feel like that was clear, but yeah, true.
Like, for what it's worth, right? I did reach out to people who are pro-nuke.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Firstly, it is incredibly hard to find an organization that's like, nuclear bombs are excellent. They
That
do
makes
not.
sense.
They basically do not exist.
No, that makes sense.
The other entities that are pro-nuke are like,
Individuals that are in TikTok comments, probably.
yeah, Twitter users in 2026, and like NATO. Now, they didn't respond. Shocker.
Wait, you emailed NATO?
I did.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I'm not gonna reach out to Lover69 on Twitter to hear his take about nuclear bombs. So, you know.
God, I remember when Twitter was cool.
I miss it. Anyway, this is the first base of the day,
And I guess let's go to the second one.
where we are actually meeting up with someone to tell us more about the place, the history, and nuclear bombs. So, should be good.
Before we go to the next stop, we're actually gonna drive past the army base because the guy we talked to before we left said, hey, by the way, if you drive that way, you can see the hangars that store the bombs. But this is completely considered American soil and Dutch people are not allowed to go near it.
It's so great that we just have a little piece of America where we absolutely cannot go under any circumstances.
Yeah.
It's great.
Not to be a my country kind of guy, but hello.
I feel like we're allowed to be that when it comes to the United States invading us. Oh, I'm gonna guess this is army base, given the...
Do you base that on the fence and the signs?
Yeah.
Oh. It says dangerous, guarded by... Oh my god, that's one.
Jesus Christ.
We made it all the way over to Belgium, and we're here together with someone who we're going to introduce now. So first off, I suppose, who are you and what do you do?
So I'm Naomi Zoka. I work for Pax Christi Flanders, and I am the expert security and disarmament there. So I work mostly on security, disarmament, and other things that are involved in the topic. So disarmament is, in general, it is getting rid of arms, but when I speak of disarmament, I'm specifically speaking of nuclear disarmament.
Right.
So that is disarming any weapon that has nuclear capacity, because there is also just nuclear power and then there is nuclear arms. So why we are here at Kleine Breugel is because actually nuclear bombs have been in Belgium since 1963. The history of it is during the Cold War, the United States wanted to make sure that there was as much nuclear deterrence as possible in the context of the USSR possibly being hostile
Right.
force towards Europe. And then they came up with a nuclear sharing agreement. And then we had nuclear weapons in Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, Italy, and Greece. But I think Greece got rid of them, if I'm not mistaken.
So it is possible, is what I'm hearing.
It is possible. It is true political will and the will of the people, because even when the nuclear weapons came here, it was actually without any parliamentary debate or public debate. So it's something that just happened right under the people's noses, and there has been a lot of controversy around it to this day. And even technically now the Belgian government does not admit or deny the fact that there are nuclear weapons here, but we all know that they are.
If you were to just, in simple terms, say what are the dangers of having nuclear bombs that belong to the US in Western Europe?
People don't really think about it because they say nuclear deterrence, so having nuclear weapons keeps us safe, which it doesn't. But also at the end of the day, Belgium doesn't really have a say about when they will be used. That is something that at the end is still in the hands of the United States. Yeah. But it does put a target on Belgium's back as a key area for the United States, because it's one part where they store their bombs. The United States has 32 broken arrow incidents, which refers to incidents involving nuclear weapons, which can be from planes crashing, radioactive matter getting released, or just bombs getting lost. To this day, there are several US nuclear weapons that are just out there. And then I remember this incident in 1985 where one nuclear bomb accidentally got dropped out of a plane and landed in the backyard of a family in South Carolina.
Dang, that's crazy. I never knew that there was just some lost. I don't love that idea.
Oh, oopsie, forgot my... yeah.
How does
That's
that
basically
happen? It is really strange because, like, it changes the mindset of the people around it as well. Like earlier we were at the other, basically, facility, or close to the facility that was storing 20 of them. And people who were living there were just kind of like, yeah, I mean, what can we do?
What can you say about the base that is like right next to us right now? What do you know about it, and what would we be able to see there if we drive past it?
Back in the day, before I was working on this topic, people did bomb spotting, but they have secured it so much and it's basically impossible for people to keep doing that. And I can tell you that when you come to to that barbed wire and a closed off zone, there is a possibility of being arrested.
Oh.
But if you don't get too close, you might be able to film it from far away.
So I guess the answer is fence.
Yeah, cool, you get arrested for existing there. That's great.
It's easy to feel helpless when times are as scary as they are right now, but we're not powerless.
The only thing we need to be is just not complacent. You can find a map showing you where the bombs in your area are in the description, and the ICANN website provides many more resources for making your voice heard.
Because I don't know about you, but I don't want me and all my friends and family to be blown up because some ancient guy forgot to take his meds in the morning.
Often nuclear weapons are presented as a fact of life, but the truth is that they are a political choice.